Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Hi everyone, my name is Anita and I welcome you all on Inquata Media once again. Today I'm going to be speaking with Professor Velamuri, who is the Dean of the School of Management at Mahindra University in Hyderabad. Professor Velamuri, with a very rich research experience, joined this organization in 2021, and I am extremely excited to learn that he introduced the research program in management very recently. In this interaction, he is going to speak about the research program at the School of Management, Mahindra University. So let's welcome Professor Velamuri.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our request. I'm extremely excited to speak with you once again. And your video, the first video about your life journey and your career choices and the decisions which you took to decide upon your career and life, that video is my personal favorite. Thank you for that interaction. It's always great to listen to you again and again. Please share it once again, very briefly, that you moved from University of Madras to Spain for your masters and to America for your PhD from the Darden School of Management, University of Virginia. Tell me about it, sir, very briefly.
Yeah, so I started my journey. I would say I'm a graduate, BCom graduate from the University of Madras. And then I immediately went to Spain for a master's degree in business at ESA Business School. And after my MBA, I worked for 6 years for a large listed Spanish company all over Europe. I was based for 3 years at the UK, for 1 year in Germany, and then the rest of the time I spent at headquarters in Madrid. And then after 6 years, I left and set up my own consulting firm. Mm-hmm. I was a self-employed consultant for 8 years, helping companies in their internationalization process. Mm-hmm. During my years as a consultant, out of necessity actually, I started teaching on a part-time basis. And that's how I got exposed to teaching. And I realized that I enjoyed teaching a lot more than consulting. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to become a full-time teacher and do consulting on the side. But that was becoming more and more difficult because every school was asking for a PhD. And then by this time I was married and I had a child. And so it became a discussion at home on a regular basis about doing a PhD. I looked at both part-time PhD programs and full-time PhD programs. And I got some very good advice that I should do a full-time PhD program. So I applied to some leading schools in the world for PhD, and I was admitted to the University of Virginia's PhD program, the Darden School, with a full scholarship. Mm-hmm. And in my late 30s, I started my PhD journey. It was a full-time program, 4 years. And those were wonderful 4 years in Charlottesville in Virginia. And upon completion of the PhD, I went back to my alma mater in Barcelona to work as an assistant professor, ESA Business School. And after 4 years there, I spent nearly 14 years in Shanghai at the China-Europe International Business School. And due to the pandemic, I have relocated to India since March of 2021. And now I am the professor and dean of the School of Management, Mahindra University. So that's my journey in very condensed form.
So it's a very promising and I'm sure very exciting role which you are now taking at the Mahindra University. So you have lived in 3 continents and America. You have experienced European system, you have experienced American system, Chinese system, and now back in India. What do you think like in terms of research? Because you have a vast range of research, vast publications, a lot of publications in entrepreneurship space. From your experience, please tell us like what are the key drivers to promote, to help Indian research ecosystem in general and in particular at Mahindra University School of Management, which you are going to build now, from your experience of these multicultural, multi-country experience? What are you going to bring to the university?
So let me talk about how to build a research ecosystem. I think the most important thing, I mean, if you look at the landscape in India, if you look at research in India in general, for many, many decades, India has produced decent research in the sciences, in mathematics, in physics, chemistry, biology. We have some really leading institutions in India that are producing world-class research. We have world-class mathematicians, right, who produced absolutely top-notch research. And in the social sciences, I would say economics, we have some really good institutes in India. ISI, Delhi School of Economics, JNU. These are all really world-class institutions that are producing good research. When it comes to business schools, this has not been the case, and there is, I think, a reason for that. That's because when the IIMs were set up, the first business schools were set up in India, their mission was to make managers ready for industry, prepare managers who are ready to work in industry.
True.
And during the first many decades of their existence, they focused on achieving this mission. And I think they have done a very good job of it. If you look at it, from an objective perspective, whether it's IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, the older IIMs, they really have very, very strong industry connects, right? And they may employ slightly different methodologies when it comes to teaching. Ahmedabad more case-based and so on. But the focus in their first few decades of existence was not research. Okay. And so I think now I think maybe more so IIM Bangalore than the other older IIMs, they have started pushing research in a very, very, I would say aggressive, but aggressive without a negative connotation. I would say, in a very strong way. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's all it needs, right? You need, to the institution to signal that research is important. You need the institution to signal that there are incentives for research. You only hire people who are well trained for research on the faculty, and your promotion decisions rely to an important extent, right? 30-40% of the weightage in the promotion decision is given to research. And then lo and behold, you see research start to happen, right? And I think it's only a matter of time before India will start producing top-notch researchers, because, we are very, very strong in research. We have a very good educational system, and, the Indian diaspora, when they go abroad to research-focused institutions, they do exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it just needs to I think the government and the institutions to signal the importance of research and put in place the mechanisms to promote research, budgets and so on, and then magic will happen.
Okay.
So as of now, unfortunately, not many institutions have taken a very strong research focus. I would say maybe in the business school world, ISB and IIM Bangalore are the two top institutions. And we want to be among the few institutions in India that are research focused. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are hiring faculty members who have strong research training and a strong research pipeline.
Okay.
And for experienced hires, we want to see evidence of publications in leading journals.
Mm-hmm.
For fresh PhDs, we want to see evidence that they have the potential to publish in the top journals.
Okay.
And we also have a very, very, I would say, thriving brown bag seminar series. We have presentations almost every 2 weeks. And we have research incentives in place, and 40% of the weightage at Mahindra University generally, not just at the business school, 40% of the weightage in promotion decisions is based on research output.
Okay. Okay, that
So,
is really incredible. So,
yeah,
in terms of the faculty, in this side, when there's a strong ecosystem within the campus, so it will definitely be reflected when the students will join in, and then the student and professors can work together
yes.
and produce more research and create more knowledge and disseminate it eventually. So,
I think also institutions need to walk the talk, right? When you
yeah.
say we want to be research focused,
Hmm.
it means that you can't overload the faculty members with teaching.
Hmm. Okay.
So you need to give them sufficient time to do research, which is very time consuming, as you well know.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, so I want to ask you the next question, which is related to the previous one. You have already mentioned about different features, but if I have to ask you three specific key features that distinguish the school's PhD program from the other doctoral program or doctoral program offerings in India, how would you define that aspect? Like, how will you explain it? What are those three key drivers which differentiates your school from other business schools, and what a PhD scholar would get when the scholar joins the School of Management, Mahindra University?
I would say that we are we aspire to be among the few institutions in India, the few business schools in India that place a strong emphasis on research.
Mm-hmm.
And the distinguishing feature of our PhD program is that when PhD students join us, doctoral students join our PhD program, we will make sure that they are very well trained. Okay, very well trained in their major area, in their minor area, and most importantly, we will make sure that they have a very good research toolkit in terms of research methods, both quantitative and qualitative research methods, to ensure that they can design research projects rigorously and execute them well. Okay, so that's the goal.
Okay.
And we have faculty members who are capable of
Mm-hmm.
teaching
So
the
I think the focus is more on rigor.
yes,
Okay,
definitely.
great.
The
So the
focus
students.
on rigor
Uh,
focuses on ensuring that we always keep in mind the international benchmarks. So we will be talking about what does it take to publish in a leading journal,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a research project. Before it gets published in a leading journal, it can take 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have a lot of patience. And I think the whole thing begins, I would say, with very carefully selecting the PhD students, right? Because as you well know, Anita, research is not for everybody.
Absolutely.
There are some people who have the aptitude for research, and some people who are passionate about academia and are willing to put up with the sacrifices, because we are talking about recruiting very bright people into the PhD program, and these bright people could very well go and work in industry where they could actually perhaps make a much higher compensation, correct? But I think those who enjoy doing research, those who enjoy seeing their output published in the leading journals and being referred to by other scholars, those who enjoy the freedom of being in academia, I think those are the people who will be well suited to a PhD program. So we are going to be very careful in selecting our PhD students, and I hope that we don't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll make sure that we train them well, okay, so that by the time they graduate, hopefully they have some decent output to show. It may not be in published papers, but it could be some working papers that have already been accepted in some international conferences and things like that, right? So those are some of the things that we want to do.
Was about your long-term plan for the school, in terms of getting the benefit of the city itself, because you are in
Yes.
Hyderabad. It is an
Yes.
IT city, and there are so many other industries. People who want to the people who have been working in these companies, they want to, after certain years of experience, they want to come back and join, but they generally do not have master's program, and they generally do not have other things. So how would you like to bring them onboarded for the PhD program? So that's what I wanted to know.
Okay. So as of this moment, we are only launching a full-time PhD program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know that there are some PhD programs in the country that can cater to the needs of those who are in industry,
Mm-hmm.
and then who want to switch to academia, and maybe they want to do their PhD while they are working in order not to lose the income stream. Currently, we don't have a program that can cater to those needs, right? We are only recruiting full-time PhD students. That's true for our engineering school, and that's true for our School of Management also. So if you join the PhD program at Mahindra University, you will be required to commit to it on a full-time basis. We provide accommodation, we provide meals, we provide a stipend in addition to those two that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And we will expect the PhD students to work with the faculty members.
I was about to ask this question.
Yes.
Do you have TA-ship
Yes.
along with the program? Because that is very, very required to become a teacher eventually.
Yes.
And learn from the faculty member on the campus. Tell me more about the program.
Yes. So we expect the students to spend, I think, about 10 weeks in supporting 10 hours a week in supporting the faculty members, which could mean attending the classes,
Mm-hmm.
Helping the faculty member with some grading, and helping the faculty member conduct tutorials. So we have a system
Mm-hmm.
in our undergraduate program,
Mm-hmm.
similar to Oxford and Cambridge, that
Mm-hmm.
for every 2 hours of lecture,
Mm-hmm.
we have 1 hour of tutorial,
Mm-hmm.
which is conducted in smaller groups, so that the students can clarify their doubts, and the professor can give more individualized attention to the students, right? So all this requires support, right? The faculty member needs support. And as you rightly pointed out, in this process, the PhD students learn from the professor on how to design a course, how to curate the content, how to deliver the course, what kinds of examples to use to simplify complex concepts,
Mm-hmm.
and what are some principles that they follow for grading, how to deal with absentees. So these are just, everyday things that an academic has to learn to become a well-rounded academic.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the bulk of the time they'll be spending in their PhD seminars and reading, journal articles. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I really love this concept
subscriptions to the good databases.
Okay.
And so we have a subscription to most of the databases.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything is now available electronically. So that is also an advantage.
This is a wonderful thing when you are training the candidate to become a well-trained trainer as well. So the teaching association with the faculty member will definitely help a student to learn how to be a good teacher and what mistakes not to make as well. So that is also very important. And if we are learning, yes, absolutely. Because you are looking for a potential PhD candidate, who is an ideal PhD scholar for you in your eyes, who will graduate from the School of Management, Mahindra University?
I think we are looking for people with strong academic credentials, because as you know, this is a marathon. PhD degree is a marathon. It takes a minimum of 4 years to complete it, and people often take 5 years, sometimes 6 years. In economics nowadays, it's actually very difficult to complete it even in 5 years. So many people actually take 6 years. So we want people who can make that long-term commitment, who are passionate about academia. That's one. The second thing is we are looking for people who can work independently. In every PhD program, after the initial seminars that you do with your fellow doctoral students, you need to work on a problem by yourself. Of course, with the guidance of your supervisor and other faculty members. But fundamentally, you are making a novel contribution to your field, correct? And this can be quite lonely, and so we want people who are comfortable working by themselves, who can motivate themselves. And every PhD student goes through highs and lows, during the PhD program. So of course we have a support system and so on and so forth, but you need people who can, we need people who can, work through those difficulties and finish the program. So I think strong academic credentials. We ideally want strong quant skills because we will be doing a number of courses in econometrics and statistics during the program.
Okay.
And I think the capacity to read. Unfortunately nowadays with social media and everything, TikTok and all these reels, Instagram reels, the attention spans are becoming shorter and shorter. And especially the youngsters, they are losing the habit of reading. But I think, as you know, in a PhD program, you need to read quite a lot and you need to absorb vast quantities of information. You need that ability to abstract and conceptualize, right? So those are skills that we will be looking for.
Okay.
In PhD students, yeah.
I want to ask you one more question. So what is the school's mission and vision statement, which will also, I think it should be aligned with the PhD program itself. So what is this all about? Like, if is it socially driven as well?
Yes. So the mission of Mahindra University is to prepare citizens of and for, a global world, right? A better world. And so we at the School of Management, we want to prepare youngsters who are ready to take their place in society, right? We want, ethically sensitive, entrepreneurial, technologically astute, people with a capacity for continuous learning.
Okay.
And so those are things that we are going to be emphasizing in the program.
I am very excited about the program already, and I had gone through the brochure. It is very exciting to see the upcoming PhD program. If I am given a chance again, I would love to come and join the PhD program. If I'm selected, I will definitely join this program, especially because it is giving me that opportunity to work. If I have to do it again in entrepreneurial opportunity space, I would definitely come and join you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, sir. And I hope you will have those students who are extremely passionate about research, who are ready to have, get into that rigorous PhD program. All the best, sir. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to Inkpot Hub Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.